Western culture really is a culture of humanity. It's the most humane culture. Not only were human rights first articulated in the West, but the West also went to great lengths to protect those rights, not only for Westerners, but for everyone else, try to advance it and continue to advance it. And so if that disappears in the West, you can imagine that, we'll be going back to a time of darkness. You cannot have freedom of religion without freedom of speech. You cannot have the freedom to assemble without freedom of speech. You can't have any kind of freedom without the freedom of speech.
A threat to free speech. The only real antidote is courage. It's for people to go, you know what? I care more about the truth. I care more about my dignity. I care more about my soul. And I have a responsibility to stand by my convictions.
I've spoken to many students of many universities, and I've come to the conclusion that a majority of students and even a majority of faculty do not want this censorship. They don't want these cancellations. They do not support the ideology of this very loud minority, but they are terrified enough of them to self-censor.
There's something about a kind of tribalism that we see in our society now, that you can't say a positive thing about someone if you're perceived on being across the aisle or on the other side of divide. And we have to stop that.
Never underestimate the power of an individual. Never say that I, as a young student, will not be able to make a difference in the world. No, you can make a difference.
At Clarity, we want to work with people on the center-left, on the center-right, and everything in between. And we have a common goal, a common purpose, to expose the ideas of political Islam, of radical Islamism, and to fight them on the battlefield of ideas.
Natalie Arroyo.
41,774 children were married in Texas between 2000 and 2018, and 96% of those were girls wed to adult men, which is what we see very frequently.
We cannot wait any longer and continue to allow children to be abused, our girls to be abused. This is common sense legislation that harms no one, costs nothing, and ends a human rights abuse. And I urge you to, as quickly as possible, pass this really important bill package.
Sean's analysis breaks new ground in understanding the prevalence, distribution, and impact of FGMC in the US.
And yet more than 500,000 women and girls in the US are known to be at risk or to have undergone FGM.
That we have to claw back our way into meaning-making institutions. We've ceded control. I think we've been on the defensive for far too long. And we, meaning those of us who love freedom of speech and who think that freedom of speech is the cornerstone of our civilization, I think we really have to get back into the ring and battle it out.